In the depths of a vast and boundless forest lived Wendigo, a round, plump creature covered in coarse fur. He had curved antlers like a deer and sunken, pitch-black eyes. Despite his bizarre appearance, the events of his life were equally peculiar. One day, when the sun should have been shining as usual, the bright sky was suddenly overtaken by dark, encroaching clouds. Without warning, a massive tornado formed in the heart of the forest. Wendigo clung to a large stump with all his might, but the immense force of the wind swept both of them high into the sky. When the storm subsided, he plummeted back down along with the stump, landing right on top of a shoebill stork, breaking its wing. Under the judgmental glares of the surrounding animals, and heavy with guilt, Wendigo set out toward the west. He sought the snow-capped mountain where the peaks were forever white, following the advice of a marmot. Find the wizard of the snowy mountain, the great healer of the wide forest. He is the only one who can cure this bird. During his long, starving journey, Wendigo stopped at a wide lake in the middle of the forest. He caught a small yellow duck sunbathing by the shore and tied a vine to it to use as a lure, believing ducks were expert fish hunters. Before long, a giant silver fish with a snout like a crocodile struck the duck, dragging the bird, the line, and Wendigo deep underwater. He gripped the fish's fin tightly and reached into its mouth, successfully rescuing the duck. The giant fish shook him off and vanished into the depths. The terrified duck bolted into the forest, leaving only a shimmering silver fish scale in Wendigo's hand. While searching for the duck and nursing a stomach that roared with hunger, a sound broke through the trees. Something massive was crashing through the branches toward him. Soon he encountered a black wooden house on chicken legs. It stood on tall, spindly legs, but where the chicken's body should be sat a tall black house. Wings sprouted from its windows, and an antique red sofa blocked the front door. White smoke billowed from a rooftop vent, carrying the scent of rich cocoa. As the house lowered itself, Wendigo climbed onto the red sofa. The door behind it creaked open, and a mysterious hand reached out, palm up, as if asking for payment. Not knowing what else to give, he handed over the silver scale. The hand took it and retreated. Moments later, the hand reappeared with a cup of fragrant, steaming cocoa. Wendigo gulped it down in one go. The door opened again with a second cup, which he finished just as quickly. Hoping for a third, he knocked, but having nothing left, he offered a common stone. Instantly, the black house jolted upright. The large sofa bucked, tossing Wendigo to the ground, and the strange house marched away into the forest. Determined to get another scale, he hurried back to the lake. Instead, he found a large, fluffy yellow creature sitting on a stump, radiating sadness. It was a giant yellow duck, weeping because it couldn't swim. It explained that it was the only duck in the world that couldn't stay afloat, and the flock had rejected it. Wendigo invited the duck to seek the wizard's help, and the two began their journey together. That night, as they rested, Wendigo was awakened by a rustling behind the bushes. He found a dark shadow pacing between the trees. The shadow greeted him warmly. "I am Bastet." When asked why he was wandering at night, Bastet replied that he suffered from insomnia and hated it. Wendigo invited Bastet to join them on their quest to the White Mountain. The next morning, the three travelers reached the summit. The air grew frigid and snow covered everything. After wandering in circles and nearly getting lost, they met a large polar bear standing on two legs, cradling something with fluffy blue and white fur. The bear told them to follow him, as he was also heading to see the wizard. The group arrived at a giant hut that resembled a massive face caught in a screen, wearing a tall hat with ivory tusks protruding from its ears. A deep voice boomed from the face. "Why have you come?" The polar bear explained their business. A small door at the mouth of the giant hut opened, and a wizard in a black robe, wearing a pointed mask and a top hat, stepped out to welcome them into his grand, warm stone hall. After hearing their stories, the wizard called Wendigo forward. "You must retrieve mountain cat mucus, the primary ingredient for the medicine." The wizard drew a picture of a cat as tall as a mountain. It wasn't a cat on a mountain, it was a mountain cat. He handed Wendigo an old squirrel doll and a pot, instructing him to use the doll to summon the giant owl behind the hut and fly south on this cloudy day. Behind the hut, overlooking layers of green mountains, Wendigo waved the fake squirrel. Within moments, a giant owl the size of a wine barrel swooped down and carried him into the sky. He searched until he found massive, slender white legs with short fur piercing through the clouds. Above the cloud line, he saw the face of the giant cat with glowing yellow eyes and ears as large as whale fins. It didn't look fierce. Wendigo flew circles around its nose until the giant cat let out a thunderous sneeze that shook the heavens like a lightning strike. A massive glob of mucus dripped down. Wendigo quickly caught it in the pot and raced back to the wizard's hut. With the medicine finally brewed, Wendigo received the cure for the injured stork. He said goodbye to his new friends, borrowed the giant owl from the wizard, and flew back to the forest to right the wrong he had done.